G'day everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we are doing something a little bit different. We haven't got anything to open because...
Well, it's the grand final tomorrow, so...
Yeah, but we thought that we would do something a little different and wrap up our video, the season, by doing a little recap of what's happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Josh.
Yes.
The grand final is tomorrow.
Yes.
Who is playing?
Geelong versus Brisbane. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure in that order.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Geelong is at home, so yeah.
Yes. Okay. Who do you think's going to win?
Personally, I don't want to say I have a grudge against either team, which I totally do. But if I had to be completely honest, my personal pick might have to be maybe the Cats, Geelong Cats. But as I said to Xavier earlier today, saying that I don't really care who wins as long as it's a close game and it's a fair game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people like seeing is close games, especially for the finals and all that. Because I don't know about you, Xavier, but I like watching those close games. It makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah. Since the 2018 grand final, we've had one good grand final, and that was Collingwood and Brisbane.
Yeah.
2023. The rest of them have been awful. And
even my team last year.
Yeah. And 2023, that's rated as one of the best grand finals of all time. It was close. It was high scoring. It had everything.
I think.
And it's supposed to be the top two teams of the year. And I think that we've got that this year. I think on paper, Geelong and Brisbane have been the two best teams this year. Adelaide finished on top of the ladder, but we all knew that they didn't have the experience to go far in this final series, and they didn't. So I think we've got the best grand final that we could have asked for this year.
But at least Adelaide Crows did try, though.
Yeah, they did.
I think
they had a very good season, but they just did not have the experience
in the first week of the finals, right?
To go far into September.
No.
They were by far the best team in the regular season.
Yeah.
But
for this season anyway.
Yeah. I think that Geelong will win. I think that their list can destroy anyone at their best, and with the midfield likes of Dangerfield and Baz Lanka and the forward line of, Shannon Neal and Jeremy Cameron, who's the Coleman medalist, there's nothing that can beat them when they're on, and they'll be switched on. And looking what they did to Brisbane a few weeks ago, they poleaxed them.
Even though you told me that you're kind of going for Brisbane, but
I am going for Brisbane.
But you believe within the deepest parts of your heart, you think that Geelong will win, even though you want Brisbane to.
Yeah.
But don't forget last year Brisbane did win the grand final against my team last year. So
against the Swans.
Against Sydney, So but
they're looking to go back to back. They have the experience, but I just think Geelong
have more of a likely chance at winning than Brisbane.
Just look the better team. I thought that they had quite an easy draw after the bye, which they did, which set them up for quite a big, top two, top four finish.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on my phone at the moment checking to see what the current bidding is for the teams. So, but yeah. Go ahead.
Looking at the two finals, they played against Hawthorn and Brisbane, and they won quite comfortably in both.
Hawthorn and Collingwood.
And Brisbane.
Yeah, Geelong, Hawthorn, Collingwood and Brisbane were last week, or the week before.
Yes, but we're talking about the two teams that Geelong played in the finals.
Oh, yes.
And, Brisbane, they looked very good against Collingwood. Very good.
Yes.
That second quarter, they had a bit of a hiccup. They did not play well, but they came back and they eventually ran over the top of Collingwood, which we all expected to happen.
Yeah.
So the week before they played the Q Clash against the Suns. I thought they were always going to win that quite comfortably. They won by 53 points. Gold Coast had no finals experience. They had a good win against Fremantle in the first week, but it was always going to be the Lions in that game.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see Gold Coast in the grand final though, at least because they've apparently ever since 2011 when they came out.
This was their first final series, and to win a final in your first final,
even just the first final, even just the first week's final, it's like that was a big achievement for them because apparently, from what I've heard, Gold Coast have never won a single finals match. I don't think they've
never played in one.
Yeah, they've never played in one. So ever since they first came out.
Gold Coast to Perth is the furthest trip in footy. And, Fremantle at Optus Stadium, that's a tough ask for anyone.
And rare too, because...
and it just... Gold Coast, it's probably the greatest win that they've ever had.
Even though it was only 1 point, but it was still
a great game.
It was a great game, especially the last, probably 5-10 minutes of that last quarter.
Yeah. So, So, the other team that really disappointed me was GWS.
Against Hawthorn.
They were my premiership pick at the start of September. I thought they would do what Brisbane did last year.
What, GWS?
Yeah. They were awful against Hawthorn.
Yeah, I mean,
the third quarter, they were down by 44 points. They got in front eventually in the fourth quarter. And then Hawthorn ran over the top of them. And, they just disappointed me.
19 points in the final sirens. So.
Yeah, so we've just looked at this season and there's been a lot of big upsets. Now it's time for us to go pick what we think is the game of the year.
What round do you think would be the game of the year this year?
The game of the year for me this year was Collingwood and Fremantle.
What round would that have been?
Round 19.
Round 19, okay. Let's get into round 19.
This was the time where Collingwood were dead on top of the ladder. They were unstoppable. And Fremantle weren't even in the 8. No one gave them a chance.
Who, Freo?
Yeah. And
but they still managed to make the first week of the final, though. Freo.
They just wouldn't go away from Collingwood. And Pat Voss, the prancing pony, that's his nickname, kicked 6 goals and
in a row.
No.
Oh, okay.
In the game.
Okay.
And eventually Fremantle ran over the top and won. And I thought that was the game of the season, and I just loved every minute of it.
And this is another game that was a 1 point,
one point
close
win.
game. Yeah,
1 point win.
Yeah, and probably by the looks of the final score as well with the 1 point win, probably a very close game as well. So
it was close the whole game.
Yeah.
What was your game of the year, Josh?
I really don't know because I'm probably not as into sort of football as much as you probably are when it comes to reviewing things, But from my memory, my round of the year or game of the year probably would have had to have been probably the finals week 1 with the Freo and Gold Coast game because not because Gold Coast have been in their first ever final this season, but because they won by 1 point, and I think that if they ended up beating Brisbane the next week, even though they lost by 53, it would have actually been nice to either see them in the last week's final or at the very least come into the grand final and at least have that experience on possibly winning, I wouldn't say completely winning the grand final this year, but at least having that experience for winning or at least getting to the grand final is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. And then the fans and all that can at least say that we finally made it to at least one grand final in a whole 13 year or something like that, 13-14 season of our game or something, or games. So, but like I said, I was actually saying to my dad and my mum and my uncle when we were watching this game at my uncle's place in Scarborough. I was not really caring who I went for because I kind of went for both teams because I was hoping that, like the final score, I was hoping it'll be a very close game. But I'm actually glad that Gold Coast did win, even though I kind of wanted Fremantle to win at the same time as well because not because I wanted GWS to not GWS Gold Coast. Not because I didn't want Gold Coast to be in the finals at all. It's just that it was kind of like a 50-50 for me with the Gold Coast, the Freo and Gold Coast game in the first week of the finals because it was, like I said, it was pretty much a tie between who really wanted it more, basically. So
yeah, it was a classic game.
And I think from, like, with one of the last games as well, we were talking about, I think it was Freo and Collingwood, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was one of those games that was very close pretty much for the whole game as well. And although there was about a 20 to 30 point ahead at least in 1 or 2 points in that final week one game of the Freo and Gold Coast, that Gold Coast still managed to bounce back and by that last goal that apparently went through, but it was apparently actually it was a touch. So that was
the better result for Gold Coast.
Yeah, because that was apparently touched, and it was
that was the better result for Gold Coast because Fremantle had to go coast to coast, and they were never going to do that.
No, and there was only 5-10 seconds left in that last quarter by that time, and there was. And I even said before the final siren saying there was absolutely no way they're going from Gold Coast goal to theirs in 10 seconds because there's absolutely no way even the best player could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably one of my most memorable bits about that game was the last probably few minutes. So, yeah. But I know you said yours, but do you want to say anything else about any of the other games that you might remember?
Out of all the games that I attended this year, I attended quite a bit.
About half to 3/4 of them, didn't you?
Yeah.
Mainly the West Coast games, but
yeah. There was one game where I attended where it was close the whole game. It could have gone anyway. It was Good Friday against Essendon, West Coast and Essendon.
What round was that?
Round 6.
Round 6. Let me get up on that.
This was a great game. It was a really good game.
There we are.
But
2 points.
Yeah. West Coast were winning the whole game, and the fourth quarter we were up by quite a fair bit, and
somehow Essendon
just came back from the clouds, and they hit the front late, and it was just goal for the whole second half of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And West Coast were in front with about 3 minutes to go. Essendon kicked a goal. They were up by 2 points, and Liam Ryan had a chance to, seal the game and, set shot 20 metres out. He didn't have much confidence in himself because he took the mark, played on, tried to take a check side and kicked it out on the full. And that cost us the game.
Which is very unfortunate. But
out of all the games that I've attended, being a West Coast supporter, they've all been pretty awful. That was actually quite a good game. Although the 4 points didn't go our way, I would say that's a better game than the game we won against the Saints in round 10.
Yeah.
So I ranked that as the best game I attended.
The best West Coast game this year. The best West Coast game this year, in your opinion. So, yeah. And what game was that? You were saying as well, the West Coast and who?
That was our only win this year. I was at that game as well. That was great. We did that for Sellers, the day before he passed away.
Yeah.
Adam Selwood.
Yeah, very sad to hear people passing away, especially the day after a game they've just played. So
he retired 12 years ago, mate.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough then. But
that's the next part. The biggest story of 2025, I would have to say, the death of the Selwood twins. February, we got the news that Troy had committed suicide. Now, that was quite difficult because... no, he played for Brisbane, but it was difficult for everyone.
I'm sure you remember that if you're a big fan of footy.
Because he was a good man, and, people don't understand that you can reach out. There's Lifeline, there's Kids Helpline, there's all these like psychologist websites that you can go to reach out if you're struggling.
There's a lot of famous YouTubers who seem to promote these better help and all these like prevention helplines and all that, helplines and all that.
He didn't know this, obviously, but because he ended up killing himself. Now, what made this story sadder was 3 months after, in mid-May, his twin brother Adam also committed suicide because he just couldn't handle the loss of his brother. So, again, this is terrible. You know, there's all these websites that you can go to speak to people. If you're not okay, speak out.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, even your own friends and family, who are happy to talk, and I'm sure even a lot of YouTubers really want to sort of help you as well, because like some YouTubers, that's what they're even here for, like not just to make content for everyone, but to also help people, to entertain them, and not just to entertain them as well, but to really help them and help them get their goals back up and running. And I mean, I myself even have problems sometimes, but and I'm sure you do too, Xavier. But like we at least talk to people about it, whether it's our friends, our family, acquaintances, family, friends, or whoever. I'm sure we at least talk to at least someone about it. I mean, you probably talk to your mum about things, and I talk to probably maybe a couple of people about my problems sometimes, but there's always someone to talk to. And if you really don't think you're getting anywhere, then I personally believe just keep trying and you'll be able to get through eventually. And yeah, I mean, what helps me sometimes is praying. I know a lot of you, if not any of you, are religious, but I just believe praying sometimes does help as well. Like it doesn't really matter exactly how you pray. I think it just, if you pray and believe in your heart that someone out there is listening, then I'm sure that might be some sort of comfort for at least some of you. So, yeah. But getting back on track now. Getting back on track. Yeah.
Next thing in our 2025 season review. The team that surprised you the most.
What round would that be in?
Just the whole season. Which team really impressed you that you didn't expect to do well?
Well, I think it would probably go back to the final week one where Gold Coast ended up winning by that 1 point, because it was actually a pretty big shock, even for just 1 point. I think was a very big shock, that even though that last probably 15-20 seconds, however long it was, when Gold Coast got that final score, let's say, that was pretty much a shock, because like I said, I do really like close games, especially even if it's not my team, especially in the finals. I think they're very, very good, because because if it's a 1 point,
it's better if it's not your team.
Well, yeah, of course, but
because
still,
you don't, your heart doesn't die.
No, exactly. But if you know what I mean, your team might be good with a close game too. But I know everyone wants their team to win, but in my opinion, anyway, even if it is your team, I think games that are very close, especially the last few rounds of the season before the finals, and the ones in the final, I think personally that people pay to see a game that's very close in particular, even if it's not their team. I think people pay and watch very close games, because it makes it, in my opinion, it makes it a lot more fun, unless you're a Collingwood supporter. So, yeah, like I think most teams probably don't really mind too much, but besides Collingwood, I think every team probably doesn't really mind too much about winning or losing, as long as it's a very close game and not like an annihilation like some of the West Coast games have been this year. So, no offence,
that's all right. No, that's all right.
You know what I mean, though, don't you? So,
yeah. The team that surprised me, I'm going to go the obvious one. Adelaide Crows.
Okay.
Last year, they finished in the bottom 4.
Okay.
This year, I was expecting them, to do the same thing, finish near the bottom,
like
not be a contender. They have exceeded all expectations. they've been fantastic to watch this season.
Yeah.
They won 18 games, which they have never done before in their history.
No.
They didn't have the experience to go far in the finals. We knew that. But what they did in the regular season, they were the best team to watch. They didn't lose much.
They only lost 5 games in general.
They beat Collingwood, which they haven't done in 10 seasons. You know,
which if you live under a rock, it just actually means 10 years, but same thing. Like
it's been amazing to watch. And the other team that's impressed me, I mean, they finished near the bottom. I think they finished 17th.
My internet can be a little bit bad sometimes, so I think it's
17th.
Yeah,
so Richmond finished 17th. I still think they're a team that impressed me a lot because with the inexperience they had and the young boys that they had, they weren't expected to win a game this year. They won 5.
And lost 18, which is the complete opposite to what Adelaide had, because Adelaide won 18 and lost 5. Richmond won 5 and lost 18. So
thank you, Josh.
If you really wanted to know that.
So. But I think that, I don't know if it's been announced or not, but I think the coach of the year is either Adam Uze or Matthew Nicks, because Richmond, they weren't expected. They were expected to go 0-23. They won 5 games, and their best game was their round 19 victory against West Coast. They pulverised us. They were on top at 3/4 time by 60 points. They ended up winning by 50.
And only 10 points under what they...
And they impressed me a lot. I love their young guys. The guys that they drafted this year. People are saying West Coast are in the right direction. I think that's true. They've got a long way to go. So do Richmond, but Richmond are in the box seat to be the next big rebuild.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think that Richmond are in a very good position for their rebuild, and I think that they're going to contend before we do. So
yeah, because Richmond has been a lot further up on the ladder this year.
4 wins, yeah.
They've had 5 wins.
The team that most disappointed you.
The team that most disappointed me.
A team that you expected to do well that did not.
I think that depends on what round we're talking about. So,
just the whole season.
Probably from rounds that I've seen, because I don't have Foxtel or KO, so but I think let's not talk about the finals.
Not general games, but their season as a whole.
Well, I haven't watched all the games, and I haven't really bothered actually looking up the information.
Well, that's okay.
Yet, but
all right.
But what about you though? What would you think about that?
The team that most disappointed me this year was Sydney.
My team.
Yes, they finished minor premiers last year. They made a grand final last year. It didn't go their way. They changed coaches in the off season, which was a big surprise to many because John Longmire got promoted to head of football. They just disappointed me a lot. I mean, they poleaxed West Coast, but that was always going to happen. You know, everyone poleaxed West Coast this year.
The only good thing was the fact that you had at least 1 win this whole season. That was probably the only good thing about it. If you think about it.
Yeah, Sydney, I was expecting them to make at least a prelim final. They missed the finals as a whole. I didn't watch them much this year just because they
sucked.
They sucked and they just did not play well.
Yeah.
So they're my most disappointing team.
I think, now that I think about it, no offence to Richmond fans or West Coast fans, but I think West Coast and Richmond probably, especially, I wouldn't say especially just Richmond, but both teams, I think, both Richmond and West Coast, I think, could have done a lot better than they actually did. And although I think since COVID, West Coast, Richmond and North Melbourne have been probably the 3 that have been on the bottom of the ladder pretty much the last 4 or 5 years so far, these last 4 or 5 seasons. Yeah. And I think that those three teams in particular, North Melbourne, Richmond and West Coast, in no particular order anyway, I think they really could have, at least for one of these last 5 seasons, could have at least had a, if they really wanted to, they could have at least tried. And I know that's easier said than done for someone like myself who does play football, but
yeah.
But like
There were games where I thought our young blokes were trying really hard. The game against Geelong,
West Coast and Geelong, yeah.
Before the night before WA Day, West Coast played very well. They lost by 42 points, but
they still went pretty good, yeah.
They played very well. Our young boys were showing us a glimpse of the future and what we should be in the future.
Yeah.
The problem was they ran out of breath and the veterans and the leaders weren't showing up.
No.
That to me is not good enough.
And I also think, to be honest, that some of these games, probably a lot of these games really, they probably start pushing a bit too early, and then by the time halftime comes around, they're too tired to really continue. So, and although they are still trying in some moments, I think next year all teams, even the better ones next year, whoever they might be next year, I think shouldn't use all their energy in the first 2 quarters. They should at least give the other team a chance as well.
The best teams can play a full 4 quarters, mate.
I know, but I'm just saying give the other teams chances as well. Even though it's professional, I think you should still at least give them some chances at least.
When you can't play, you can only play a half of footy, you're not a good team.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's probably the best way to explain it.
These teams, Adelaide, Geelong, they don't run out of breath for 4 quarters.
No, but teams like North, Rishi Tigers and West Coast, at least in the last few years,
they'll play 1 good half and then they'll give up.
Yeah, exactly. So, and no offense to anyone who follows the Tigers, Kangaroos or West Coast Eagles, but that is probably a bit of a fact, and it is probably true as well. Like,
all right,
but yeah, we're nearly half an hour into this video, so we're gonna have to wind it up. But yeah, any last words?
No.
Well, I should say the last few words I should say is, for the channel's sake, please like the video, comment down below what you think of our video so far, and also what you've probably thought of the round or this whole season, and maybe before and after the grand final, who you thought would win, and maybe who you think should have won. But also, not just that, but also, like I said, comment, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and he probably would see more in the comments than I would, because I'm just here to help make the videos and upload them to YouTube. So he'll probably be entering them more than I would. So, but yeah, please do all of that, and we'll see you in our next video, probably sometime during the off season, which is either after my birthday, which is tomorrow, which is the day of the grand final, or if for those who want to know. And but yeah, like any other news, we'll probably give it to you at some point. It doesn't have to be about football. We could probably make it about other things. So yeah. All right. Like I said, I could talk all day as well. But yeah. All right. Nice seeing you guys, and we'll see you in our next video. Have a good day and night, and whenever you're having it. See ya. Yeah.